chapter clicked in to College Volleyball Weekly on Viral Volley Media. Now here's your host, Rob on mic. Hey, good day, everyone. We've got a special episode of College Volleyball Weekly Men's Division 1-2 Top 20. And it's a name change because of the change of how many that we're voting into the top, what used to be 15. So it's all good news. And one of the athletes I get to speak with this afternoon or today on screen, Ohio State, or the Ohio State's outside hitter, Jacob Pasteur, who's been a phenomenal athlete and force for the Buckeyes his entire career. And I really feel like this is a great opportunity, being that First Point Collegiate Challenge is happening here in a few days. So I get this. Thanks for coming on, Jacob.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Honor's all mine. I've been a fan of your show for a while now, and it's just love how small the volleyball world is.
That would have been awesome. You said fan of your show, except for Jay Hossick, because that's the big thing.
Trying to get me in trouble already.
Well, let me hit you up one of the first questions. And obviously, due to streaming, we get to see you play, but it's different when we get to see you in person play. And the first time I got to see you play in person was at the 2023 NCAA Men's Volleyball Championships. But you ended up going to the national championships, and I'm sure you wanted to go further, but wow, you were thrust in the national stage, and people saw how good Ohio State is becoming again, because we know they were a natty team, just 10 years ago, but they've always been there in the MIVA. But can you talk about your experience at the 2023 Men's Volleyball National Championship?
I personally loved it. It was at George Mason, which is about an hour, 20 minutes from my house. So I had a lot of friends and family be able to come watch me on such a big stage and see these California teams and really just get to see the highest level volleyball college has to offer. It was a new experience for everyone in that program. Everyone that had a taste of NCAAs had graduated and moved on. So I know it was a big step for our coaching staff, with Birch being a new head coach, newish head coach, and all the underclassmen and older guys being able to climb over that hump for themselves instead of riding on older generations. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. It was super cool to see some of the guys I play with over the summer compete on their college teams. Just the talent being so condensed into one arena is exciting. I mean, we had a lot of fun watching other matches that we weren't even playing in. And I'm glad smaller colleges like King were able to get a taste of higher level D1 and be able to showcase their talent and their abilities and enjoy themselves. And the competition entirely was phenomenal, and everyone had to play on their A game, and it's just something that's super special throughout that whole week.
Well, what about during the regular season of 2023? Because for the most part, I feel like teams were overlooking Ohio State because, you had new coaches in the conference and John Hawks and the standard Chicago powerhouses of Lewis, Loyola, and, Ball State was rising up at the same time. So some of the attention had been taken away from what normally would be with Ohio State.
Yeah, absolutely. I prefer it that way. I like being under the radar and surprising people when it matters most. Um, I think it was easier to dismiss us because we had not been successful for the past 4 years or so. And there was always plenty of talent in the gym, but you got to be able to take the reins of the program as players and understand what it takes to win. You can have the talent, but if you don't have the mental fortitude to beat opponents that circle you on their calendar every single year. I mean, we have fantastic facilities. Everybody loves coming to play us, and they sure love to beat us. So understanding having that target on your back and the responsibilities that come with it was something that group had to learn on our own, and it took a lot of conversation with each other outside of the court in the locker room. It took a lot of conversation with our coaching staff and what it meant to have a winning culture, because it's one thing to talk about it, but we really learned how to implement it, and took us a little bit longer than we had hoped to find that rhythm, but I'm stoked that the group was able to put all the pieces together and have a really great run towards the second half of our season.
Oh, they're a fun team to watch at Fairfax, without a doubt, and a lot of excitement, especially in a high energy arena like a Eagle Bank Arena. There you go.
Mhm.
Look at that memory. Let's move on beyond early May there and jump into the summer. And we had talked a little before going on, but you spent some time in the USA gym on the men's national team. But how has that experience developed, prepared you, or improved you for the start of this 2024 season?
Best way I can describe it is compounding interest. Being in such a high level gym day in and day out, there's not a single day you can take for granted. I mean, there'd be times where we'd have sixes drills, and when I go back and watch film, I only have six to work with. I have those six opportunities to get a kill and showcase my skill and my ability to execute. And so, just truly valuing every rep and being under all that pressure definitely accelerates your game way faster than mindless reps is what we call it, just going through the motions.
Right.
And that environment is such a family environment, very welcoming. They recognize players regardless of their age, and they're very encouraging. And they truly show you what it means to work hard, because a lot of people have talent, but it takes talent and hard work to cultivate to be at such a high level. Being around guys that don't care about your feelings that much on the court and keep you accountable. You learn to be more of an adult and professional, and understanding your responsibilities and others, and having such a team oriented culture to build the team up and do what's best for the team and not the individual has been truly inspiring. And it's been a lot of life lessons that I've been able to hopefully bleed into this program here at Ohio State, and kind of pass on my knowledge as I'm about to graduate and teach these younger guys what it means to be professional and what it means to be a leader on the court. And so much of that has come from the USA gym, and I'm humbled and super thankful for the experiences.
Yeah. Now, were there any particular, I mean, obviously to me, there are guys on the national team who are younger, but to you, they may, oh gosh, these guys have been there, they're older guys. But were there any particular guys you got to learn a lot from that you really got to partner with, or was it a group thing, or maybe a setter that really poured into you and you learned from them, or another outside like in TJ or something?
Right. A lot of the older guys did a very good job of continuously being welcoming and inspiring. I mean, just being able to watch them practice and practice with them is just a dream come true. Some of the guys I've been close with, Jake Haynes, Buckeye alumni, we are
Mhm.
far too alike at times. There are times where like we can't hang out, like we're saying the same things at the same time. Like this is ridiculous. But somebody I want to shout out and got really close with over the summer was Tim McIntosh. He is an unbelievably hard worker, and he's so inspiring to be around. He, man, like he's the epitome of grit and hard work. He comes in extra reps before, after. He understands what it takes to be healthy enough for his team and to have a high standard as an emotional leader and as someone to conduct the younger guys. I mean, he kind of came up out of nowhere and has set an unbelievable example about what it means to be a selfless teammate. And I'm very thankful for our relationship. We're pretty close, and he's someone I look forward to go to battle with every single day. As a libero, it's hard to get work professionally, and he's just been persistent as all hell to get what he wants. And I cherish our friendship so much, man. He's been one of the people I've definitely bonded with the most, probably this past summer.
Yeah, he was a rock solid performer at the NORCECA Continental Championships in Charleston towards the end of the summer, or I guess the beginning of the fall, however you want to look at it. But like you said, he came just out of nowhere, off the radar, and here he was digging bombs from Cuba, Canada, and Puerto Rico. I'm like, who is this guy? And he was
Mhm.
definitely a grinder. So great call. Let's go to their current season. Your Buckeyes, solid start to 2024. They're currently 4-0, and you've had great competition testing you guys. What have been the keys to the team's early success here in 2024?
Early success, I just have to say, a belief in ourselves. I mean, our ability to carry over the progress we made over the fall and hit the ground running in season was definitely huge for us. That takes a lot of maturity to be able to grind for months and months and months, take almost a month off, and then boom, right back in it like you never left. So a lot of credit, especially to the younger guys. Our bench is probably one of our strongest assets. We have so many versatile athletes on our team where if we need somebody to pass, we have more passing specific outsides. If we need serve subs that are good under pressure and don't really need good warm up, boom, we got a guy for it.
Mhm.
And so everyone has just been buying into the role, which has been phenomenal. It's really hard to find such a selfless culture on the team, and for everyone to build on that has been big. I know currently we've had a lot of great offensive stats, but understanding defense is ultimately going to win championships, but most importantly, serve and pass. I mean,
Mhm.
we have a lot of guys that have the capacity to go on runs and to continuously put pressure on other teams and just kind of ironing out what it means to be aggressive, but also high percentage and intelligent. I'm trying to think what else. Communication has been big. That's something we've been working on. The
Mhm.
differences between the sets we win and lose has honestly come down to communication, understanding what we have to talk about before the play, after the play, but most importantly during the play. I mean, volleyball
Yeah.
is such a dynamic sport. So many things, your entire game plan can go out the window within every single rally. And so understanding that everyone's on the same page and what the protocol is for certain situations and understanding your role amidst the chaos has been something we've been really harping on recently, and I think that'll help tidy up a lot of things for the future.
Well, speaking of a plan going out the window and chaos, you guys are pressed to the highest extent on Saturday night as you took on UC San Diego, Brad Rostratter of our podcast. Um, but you guys are down. What got you guys to turn it around? Because it looked like there was a change of plan or something went out the window and you had to readjust. But talk about that matchup because that was on everyone's upset alert monitor as we were all following volleyball across the nation.
I remember, I just first of all, I just enjoyed that match. That was a lot of fun. Um, I know that that first set we were close. We had been losing the first set, what, past 3 games or so. It's more of a mentality thing than
Mhm.
anything. I think we had close to like double their amount of kills, and yet the score was still neck and neck. We had some servers miss at key moments, myself included. Like just little things that just bring a team back that is under our control. We haven't been executing at the level we would like. I do remember one of the bigger changes in the second set was we started getting a little bit chippy. Like some guys were standing other people down, talking a little bit of smack. I remember that just lit a fire under our team. But props to our team for having the maturity to use all that emotion to be productive instead of just blindly aggressive. It's very easy
Mhm.
to take things personally and then throw your composure out the window and just try to do too much. And there were definitely some instances of that throughout the
Mhm.
match, but being able to reel it in when it mattered was huge for that match. I mean, they were a very solid team. Their blocking was very impressive and definitely made sure that we had to earn every point that we got. Credit to that team and their training. But I knew every time we went back in that huddle, it was communication, communication, communication. The stats say a very different story than what the score is, and we
Yeah.
understood that that game was under our control. Like we were letting that team come back into matches with silly mental errors or just not executing our defensive plan as well as we'd like. But
Mhm.
I mean, that's part of the game. The mentally tougher team is going to come out on top more often than not, and that's just a credit to our coaching staff and leaders on the team really harping in that's what's important. Like you're going to get kills, you're going to get blocked. Like they're going to get kills, they're going to dig you. Like it's volleyball, it's going to happen. We're
Yeah.
not playing against people that don't know what they're doing. Like these are well refined athletes and they're going to be good at their jobs, and to understand to give credit to them, but then also be patient with our own expectations because it's easy to go into a game expecting, oh, I'm going to get this many kills, this many digs, they're going to miss this
Mhm.
many serves, we're going to get this many blocks. Like I said, that's going to go out the window pretty quickly,
Mhm.
and being able to adapt is vital for our game.
Yeah, with the way you've just described the play of your that last match, I feel like you're with the coach watching volleymetrics or something, and
Plenty of that.
um, let's go to this weekend, which coming up is the third annual First Point Collegiate Challenge, where your team, the Buckeyes, will be facing a pair of LA teams, USC and 2023 national champion, UCLA. What are your thoughts on competing with those two teams this weekend?
It's always a treat. Always, always, always. I love going against the best of the best. It really shows you what you're made of. And to do it so early in the season, I think is going to be pivotal to understanding where we're at in our journey to becoming the team that we want to be. And every season, especially last season and then going into this season, the team you have at the end of the fall can be different from the beginning of the spring to halfway through season towards the end of the season. So our team is constantly evolving, and I think it's very important to continuously test yourself. And
Mhm.
winning a championship easily wouldn't be any fun. So I'm so glad that there's so many programs that are powerhouses. And so I just love it. I love the competition. Everyone's focus is just that much
Mhm.
higher, and being in a new state, Texas, is going to be a whole lot of fun. Pretty neutral environment. I don't know. It's always just fun watching Giants go after each other, and I'm stoked for it. I'm ready to pack my bag already.
Well, you'll probably be flying out in 2 days along with me, so we'll we'll see.
Yep.
Well, actually, it's a great segue to our final question, but although the collegiate challenge is an excellent competition which showcases the best talent in the nation, the mission is to expand men's volleyball throughout the U.S. and especially being in the home to two-time women's volleyball national champion, the Texas Longhorns, and the event being held in the same venue as the Southwest Challenge in Austin. Um, how do you view this opportunity to play in this year's challenge and how that could potentially affect the growth? I do believe Texas does not have boys high school volleyball, if my memory serves me well. So, but we all know that there's talent coming from there.
Absolutely. I know Merrick's from Texas, and he's not too bad himself. I'm again humbled for this experience. I think it's going to be so much fun playing an arena with so much history. I think it's super, super valuable for the sport. I mean, I don't think I've ever met anybody that has never seen men's volleyball, gone to a match, and was like, "Yeah, yeah, it was cool." It's always like so fast. It's so fast paced. It's so physical. It's so much fun and exciting. Like they miss all their serves, but it's great. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity to spread the wealth of men's volleyball. I encourage as many people to come out as possible. It's always a treat to compete in front of a large crowd. Performing in front of so many people is something I definitely look forward to whenever we play. I know recently at Cavelli we had probably the most fans I've seen in my 4 years here, and I just remember sitting back thinking like the sport has grown so much, and I just only hope it continues to grow. To your point, it's NCAA's best kept secret, and I truly believe that. And just getting more people on board with the sport and being able to support programs and join programs and making sure everybody has a good opportunity to experience the sport, I think is fantastic.
It's more often than not that I see first timers go to a men's match and say, "How do we not watch more of this?" Because
Hmm.
of the physicality, the pace. I mean, just the even the techniques and the mechanics of the game. I mean, I nerd out on all that stuff, but once you see it in action, it becomes a pretty above the net kind of match or game. So, um,
Yeah, it really is. It's so physical that people that don't even know about volleyball know that it's awesome. Like some sports, it requires you to like understand what's going on a little bit more to really appreciate it. But men's volleyball, you just sit back and you're like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm
yeah.
loving it. It's fantastic.
Well, some little side questions here. I know the our very serious part has ended here, but I wanted to ask you about some other things that just came up because just in recent weeks, and if you follow social media, in week one, uh, a video went viral of you nailing a jump serve. I don't know if you followed the discussion along the way, and like people were like, "Oh, it's 80 miles per hour," and like, I don't know. I was questioning, I wasn't there, but it's not to say that you can't do it, but I thought the great response came from Cameron Milligan from Damon, the outside hitter who passed it. His response is, "I can confirm it was 80 miles per hour."
Oh yeah, he was a really great sport about it. That was definitely a personal milestone of mine. 80 was the big number. I definitely wanted to hit at some point in my life, whether it's once or a couple times. I'm just glad they were passing forward because I'm pretty sure that ball was out. But props to him for keeping his helmet on. I mean, I've experienced serves at that speed, and you're either there or you're not. And the best thing you can hope to do is keep it forward. And he played it well. It's a shame Cavelli isn't a little bit taller, or else we would have had to play that ball. But that was that was a fantastic moment for me. I definitely remember that for the rest of my life. But props to Damon for having such a good spirit about
In an
it.
international venue, that ball would have come over as a free ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so during this last week of play, another freshman has come to light, and it's the opposite hitter from Hawaii, Luis Sakanoko. Just realized he received Big West Freshman of the Week, but he too was bombing. And I'm based on what I saw of your serve, if that was 80, he's hitting 82. And this game is getting so fast. And there was a time when I was standing behind Matt Anderson of the men's national team, like, oh, he hit 73. Oh my gosh, the sound off that ball. But what you guys are doing is mind blowing. Like, how are you guys getting that pace on that ball?
Speed. One of the most important parts about getting so much momentum is your last two steps, your step close. Being able to convert all that forward momentum into like a whip is the best way I would describe it. The handle's the thickest part, and it gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and got to have a whole lot of momentum for that last little snap into your arm. And part of it is credit to a lot of our strength training. I mean, we train to be able to jump hard and be explosive. Some people have more natural arm swings that have the fluidity to pull it off, but a lot of it comes down to determination as well.
Yeah.
Understanding what you're capable of and training towards your goals. My shoulder health has been pivotal for me in my career. Knowing I'm going to get set a lot in college, I can't do it without the strength training to go with it. So I learned a lot with Team USA about how to balance building strength over time, but also being intentional when you're lifting and conditioning towards the goals that you want. And being able to be healthy and strong for my team is one of my biggest goals throughout a season. My availability and being able to perform day in and day out at practice, something I take a lot of pride in. But sometimes it's talent and sometimes it's technique as well.
That's awesome. Well, I'm talking to Jacob Pasteur of Ohio State University, who will be at the First Point Collegiate Challenge this weekend in Austin, Texas, at the Austin Convention Center. Here's the schedule: Friday, 1:30, be a number 11 Ball State versus number 12 USC, and this is when Ohio State takes court with Jacob as they take on the easiest match of the tournament. All sarcasm. Number 1 UCLA. That's at 4 p.m. Central, and then Friday closes out with number 3 Penn State versus Stanford, number 9 Stanford. And then on Saturday, Ohio State gets the opening match of the day against number 12 USC, Stanford versus number 11 Ball State on at 4, and then UCLA and Penn State close out at 6:30. So be sure to stop by. Follow Jacob and Ohio State on social. First Point Collegiate Challenge at FPCC. Come to the event. It's streaming on Flow Volleyball, and unfortunately, it's going to be behind a paywall. I apologize. I didn't make the decision, but it's worth watching, especially for these matches. It's worth the month pass. You're seeing all 6 teams in the top 20, and all 6 of these teams have phenomenal athletes. I will give you a list of athletes to watch so you know what to look out for, but definitely Jacob is one of them because he is a great ambassador to the game, and he hits a pretty hard ball too. But I would have passed that 80, just in case you're wondering.
I believe it. I believe that. Yeah. We'll see you in Texas.
Yes. I'll be in serve received while you guys are doing serve and pass, okay?
Perfect. Perfect. I'll be there.
And then have a ambulance ready for me too while you're at it.
Yeah, I'll make sure there's a stretcher.
Well, Jacob, I thank you so much for coming on this afternoon, and I look forward to catching up with you when we're in Ohio State. I have to get that pick because you're the man.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Thanks for listening to College Volleyball Weekly. Be sure to follow Rob Aspero at the Rob on the Mic on Instagram and at Rob on the Mic on Twitter.